Welcome to the PaynePoints Podcast. We tell the stories of small businesses, the people that run them, and the journey they are on. Our purpose is to gather a new perspective on starting, growing, maturing, and maintaining businesses of all sizes. So grab that cup of coffee, sit back, and join us as we start the conversation. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. I'm your host, Sarah Harbuck, and joining me today are Kristin Ellis.
Good morning.
And our guest, Lindsey Arnold of Flower Hill Farm.
Good
Hello.
morning.
So, Lindsey, you have a goat farm.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and your goat farm.
Okay. I am a Christian first and foremost. I'm a mama. I'm a girl mom. I am a wife, and all of those things combined with my goat farm is my everyday life. I mean, we homeschool, so my kids help with the farm chores every day. My husband is the mastermind behind all the the barn and the setup, and it's just a family gig, and we just really all help each other and contribute in different ways. And so I have the goats, and we have babies, of course, and then I use the goat milk and our herbs and different plants and things on our farm to make natural bath goods. So it is a passion, I guess, on multiple levels there with the animals and the bath supplies and things like that.
So you take it from the actual source all the way to a
the
finished
whole
product.
thing. Yes, the whole thing. Yeah.
I try. Now I do order some ingredients, of course, that we can't grow here, East Texas, but we do try, to keep most of the herbs and the flowers and the ingredients local and fresh. And I prefer to be able to say, okay, let me step outside and get some basil, and I'll hook you up with some some soap. So
Sure.
Yeah. That's
So
very cool.
what prompted you guys to start a goat farm, and start the bath products with the goat milk and things like that? Was there a particular, I just really like animals and this sounds fun, or was there other reasoning behind it?
I mean, I do like animals. My husband calls me Snow White. Like we can't go on a road trip and I'll see a poor animal on the side of the road. I'm like, I'm its mother now, so we're just gonna take it.
Yeah, we understand.
Yeah. I'm an animal person, but I wanted my kids to grow up in that environment, and my youngest daughter can't digest cow's milk. We learned that early on, and so we bought 2 goats, in the hopes that we can have our own fresh milk and be kind of self-sufficient, at our own property. And we, have chickens and ducks and things like that, and vegetables and fruits. And so from 2 goats, and my husband jokes about this all the time, from 2 goats, it's just kind of exploded. And I can't even say doubled. It's like, I think we're at 40.
Oh my gosh.
So
that's a lot more than doubled. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's gone from there, and we have a plethora of animals and fresh milk all the time. And as a child, for some reason, my happy time was bath time. I got to play and and play with cool bubbles and
all the bath toys.
All the bath toys,
yeah.
Smelly soaps, and that was just, for some reason, my happy place. And it's just kind of gone from there to where I learned the initial recipe, and I just kind of used, I guess, artistic creativity. I guess it's a different form of art to make these unique soaps, but I also want everything that I make to be a blessing health-wise to people.
Yes.
I want it to be, natural. I don't want it to cause any issues, and but also to smell good and just be a blessing to them. Yeah.
Bring some of that childhood
Yes.
joy,
Yes.
Into adulthood, which I think we're always always striving for a
Yeah,
little bit
because
of
growing
that.
up is a trap.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I get to be kind of like a kid,
Yeah, you get to play
in the kitchen, and I turn on music and I make a ton of
Yeah.
soap, and it's my
And your soaps look like edible things.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say it very much is an art form. Like we were
Yeah.
at your shop, and the Mardi Gras one that you had with
Yeah.
the little like
The king cake.
the
yeah.
king cake one, yeah, with the little crowns and on it, and like they were beautiful. Like they
Yeah.
were just
Well, thank
yeah.
you.
Yeah,
But they also
very
have
much-
kind of a rustic, they're not obviously manufactured in
Yes.
in a factory.
Right.
They are homemade. And so
Right.
there's they're very beautiful, but they're also very handcrafted looking
Right.
as well.
Yes,
So
yes.
I think that's nice because whenever you're making it, you don't want it to look like something you could go buy.
Yeah, you don't
Right.
want just like a
Yeah.
bar.
You don't wanna be like, wait a
that's
minute.
That's part of the fun of it is that it's pretty.
right.
It's prettier than your average bar of soap.
Now,
Yeah.
did you
Yeah.
guys have like a background in like animal husbandry or anything like that?
Yeah, I was
or
gonna
did y'all
ask
just
that.
like, we're going to get some goats and
Yeah.
we're going to see how it goes?
Did you grow up on a
Definitely.
farm, or is this just
No, we've had as a child I had one goat, and her name was Pearl.
It reminds me of
My parents
Hee-haw.
tried. Yeah.
with the mini Pearl and
She
the
was-
goats. Yeah.
It was very much that situation. Pearl was kind of wild, and she didn't for some reason I couldn't connect with Pearl the goat. But so we tried, but my grandparents had horses, so I did have some animal
Yeah.
knowledge, and lots of dogs everywhere. But we grew up on my grandparents' place, which is about 45 acres. So there was farming. There was,
Sure.
I mean, my grandmother, I swear, is like Fern Gully. I mean, she could take a snap from any plant and plant it, and it would just go. Now me,
yeah.
and this is where our farm name comes in. My husband picks at me, and so my grandmother could plant literally anything,
Right.
from a seed, a cutting, anything.
Yeah.
And I cannot. Lindsay cannot grow flowers.
Yeah.
I can grow food, but I cannot grow flowers.
I have a rose bush. And it survived,
I'm the
but
exact
that's it.
opposite.
Okay,
I'm
well, you're
great
doing
with
better than me.
flowers, but food, like I will like any kind of tomato plant or anything that I try to do, like they
Really?
get rust, they get like they have worms all over them. I'm no good.
And
but
you're in
the-
horticulture.
I know, but like flowers, no, houseplants and like and food crops, I'm terrible with. Give me flowers and landscaping plants, I'm great.
Okay.
I got you.
Yeah.
So we need to hang out.
So we all have like
We
a
need to
special
collaborate.
talent.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, so when we started, I said, well, what, we had two, but then we got registered with the American Dairy Goat Society, Association rather. And
Wow, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah.
Okay,
yes,
that's cool.
yes. So
So I'd imagine because you're using these products, you're as a food source for your family, not such a big deal. But as you're using them in your products and you're selling them to other people, is that where it comes in that you need to be registered, or is it just
No, that's for the goats alone. If they're
Okay.
registered goats.
Okay.
Kind of like the dog show that
Okay.
you see on
Oh,
TV.
so okay.
There's
so
a
like-
show.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's
Pedigreed.
Yes, pedigreed. So we had to register, get a membership ID and things like that, and I had to come up with a herd name. So and it had to be different than others, and they say walk outside and look and see. Do you have creeks? Do you have oak trees? And I walked outside and I'm like, man, I wish I had flowers out here. And
Yeah.
So we named all of our goats after flowers in the beginning, and those were my flowers.
Yeah.
So that's how Flower Hill Farm
That's cool.
came
Oh.
about, because I
Yeah.
can't grow flowers. But
That's so cute.
I can name goats after flowers. So.
Sure.
That's fun.
That's awesome. So no real background other than just family growing up in it, but decided, you know what, we're going to take this
Yeah.
thing
had a-
and run with
You had
it.
a
Yes.
need in the family, and so
Yes.
you did what you
And I
needed
did.
to do to meet that need. Yeah.
Probably about a year's worth of research before.
Okay, that was
we
my
just-
next question.
Yeah,
Like, how
I'm a
did you?
research nerd. Total. I love researching. So I wanted to make sure it was the right thing, and that I could properly care for these animals, and
Right.
and that it could be the best experience for all of us. As
So
a
you
family.
guys started breeding them too. So what was there a
Yes.
need that do people in the community go, you know what, I want to maybe do this myself, or I want to have a pet goat, or I want to have a milking goat? Is that the idea that kind of prompted, okay, well we could maybe breed our
breed 'em?
goats and
Yes.
sell them?
Yes. With the registered goats especially, you can, of course, breed them, and then they would carry your herd name. And then when you go to the shows, we go to shows every once in a while, and that's kind of a way of, strutting out there and saying, well, I bred this goat, and especially if they win, they carry your herd name. But also, I think that a lot of us are trying to become more self-sufficient, at home. And I've had a really big boom this last year, wanting milk goats.
From the pandemic, I would imagine that
people
was,
have a lot more free time.
Well,
so
they have, and they're spending more time at home, and in their, and when you don't necessarily, when going to the grocery store is a risky thing, which sounds so weird.
Right.
You want to be able to be a little bit more self-sufficient and take, have that.
Yeah.
Or if you have health concerns, like you were saying, your daughter can't process dairy,
be able to meet that.
And that's a real common thing, especially with babies.
Oh,
I've come to find out.
Yeah, I think most people are actually, if they really actually looked at it, they're mostly lactose intolerant.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
I was. Producer Megan was allergic
Yes,
to
she
milk.
was. She was.
Okay, see?
We found that out when she was a baby, and an emergency trip to the ER for anaphylaxis.
Oh, wow. A good one.
Oh, so like allergic.
Well, I mean, it was definitely, as she got older, it was less severe, thank goodness. But yeah, it was
man. That's
gave
a
her ice
scary
cream
one.
for the first time when she was 10 months old. And we ended up at the emergency room. So
man.
That's scary.
yeah, I had given her some Benadryl at home, even though we were going to go to the emergency room, because I didn't know how severe it was going to be.
Yeah.
And luckily that really kind of kept it from being a really bad thing. So,
Wow.
but yeah,
Good
we
call,
found that
Mom.
out, and she had to, we had to be very careful from then on. And as she got older, it was less of an issue, but even now she doesn't.
Man.
I avoid it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So dairy's not good
Probably smart
for her.
Yeah.
For her.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely see, especially this year, there's this year, but last year there was that opportunity.
Right.
A lot more people were doing more home projects. I saw more gardening.
Yeah.
And so I can imagine that there was a boom for the demand of something like this, because like, Kristin was saying, there's a concern to going out in public, and and then I think people are getting more concerned with the environment.
Yes.
And just their general overall health,
Right.
because in this country, we're not very preventative. It's more, let's fix the problem once you have it.
We're reactive.
But, if you're doing things along the way, even if it's using something as organic as your bath products, with essential oils and herbs and things like that, things that you ingest, things that you put on your body, you probably should be a little more conscious than we have been in
An ounce
past
of
years.
prevention is worth a pound of cure.
Yes.
Right.
Saying
Yes.
So
for a
I can
reason.
definitely see that being, especially in the midst of a global pandemic.
Yeah.
People want to wash their hands a lot more, but soaps can be really drying.
Yeah.
So then, if you have a homemade soap that's made from natural goat butters or milks or things like that, I feel like that would be less of a concern,
Right.
but still
Yeah.
cleansing. So
Yes.
And one of your products that I found really interesting, your magnesium cream.
yes.
And you
Yes.
mentioned that a lot of people are deficient,
Yeah.
and that actually, speaking of the pandemic and everything, that's something that they're finding people with worse with the cases. Some people the case is really terrible,
Yes.
and some people it's really mild. The people with a vitamin D deficiency is that's the common thread that they're finding, where they're you get sicker. So people are paying more attention to those kind of micronutrients and things like that, and that magnesium cream. That's a brilliant idea, because you don't want to take 1,800 supplements.
Right. Yeah.
And
And
your
sometimes
body's
you can't digest it.
right.
Yes,
That's your
yeah.
body's not going to absorb it. If you do that anyway. So to have something like that where it's just it's a lotion, and the smell was so just didn't really smell so much as it was just fresh.
Yeah.
Like it just smelled clean and fresh. Which I thought was really cool. What gave you that idea to? Did you have
yes.
Did you know somebody?
Well,
or
me.
you had- okay.
Me. A lot of people that I've talked to, came and said, "Do you have anything for insomnia? Do you have anything that would help me with, anxiety? Do you have any of this?"
Yeah.
So I did research, and myself, I have restless leg syndrome a
Okay.
lot, especially at night when I'm trying to sleep. So
Always.
I said, okay, well, let me try to get my hands on some magnesium and let me see what I can do. So I made a magnesium spray,
Okay.
and it is just, magnesium in a liquid form, and you spray it and it absorbs quicker. but with the cream, you get the benefits of the goat milk as well.
Right.
So you get the lactic acid, you get the good fats for your skin.
So is a magnesium deficiency one of the reasons that people have breast
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
I did not either.
Yeah, there's such a
Ah.
long list of.
So I need to buy my mom a jar of your cream.
Yes.
My mother-in-law has restless legs.
Yeah. There's such a long list. It was just crazy that all of these things come back to magnesium deficiency. So
Huh.
Interesting.
Very
So you took a need
interesting.
in your own life, created a product, and now it
Yeah.
seems like a very popular thing on
oh,
your,
it is. Yeah.
your
Yeah.
Facebook page.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
That's really cool.
do you have problems staying in stock with certain things?
I do. Yes.
A lot of demand.
Yeah.
Now, do you guys? You don't have an official website where you sell online, do you?
No. I have looked into that. It
So
may
is that
be
something in the future?
Yeah, maybe something in the future.
Yeah.
But my thing is, I would rather meet that person and talk to them, you
Mm-hmm.
know, whether it's through message or text or them coming to the shop and talking to me and saying, you know, I have this going on, or do you have anything in this scent? Or,
Right.
you know, I want to meet the people that my products are affecting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I want to know that, you know, that they're being blessed by what I'm making and what I'm creating
Right.
and, you know, make new friends too. So
Yeah.
Yeah. I can definitely see that you know, especially if you want to be more
personable,
involved
yeah.
and personable,
Yeah.
having an online store doesn't really allow for that as much because people just log on, click,
Yeah.
click, and then
That
they're
would
done.
be- Yeah, that would be something interesting though. If you were to do a website, I wonder if you could set up. I don't know. I'm
Consultation?
just kind of talking out of my head here.
I'm
you
sure
know,
I could, yeah.
set up some sort of like before you some sort of consultation service where that you could like Skype or Zoom or
Yeah.
FaceTime or whatever and actually get to like see and get a feel for the person and talk to
Yeah.
them
I would have to definitely
before they
figure that
order.
out.
That would
Mhm.
be a neat thing.
Yeah. I think, I mean, I would want to grow. Definitely. I do want to grow.
Yeah.
So it could be something in the future.
Yeah, maybe a way to grow your business, but also keep that
Right.
personability to it.
Yeah.
if
How
that's
long
even a
ago did
word.
you guys start with the goats?
We started when, let's see, it's actually 5 years this year.
5 years.
My
Oh.
my youngest daughter was 6 months
We
old.
went from 2 to 40 in 5 years.
Yeah,
Ooh, boy.
it happens quick. Yeah. She actually, I remember we drove to Louisiana to another friend's goat farm and picked up our first two. And she was a tiny baby, and I had to pull over and like nurse her in the road, and
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
that was the beginning of that. So we started with Blossom and Rosie,
Yeah.
and it's just
Gone from there.
yeah, it's exploded.
You know, with something like a goat farm and producing products, did those two things happen almost simultaneously? Like, okay, we got these goats and we're giving our daughter goat milk, but then, I could take this and make some things with
Did
it?
you-
Or did that
yeah.
grow over time?
I think for me personally, when I got goats and said, okay, we're going to, have fresh milk, I knew that I wanted to make soap. I
Okay.
was already into natural products, making sure that things
Right.
were paraben free and,
Yeah.
petroleum free and things like that. So I knew that if I could make our own soap, our own products, that I knew what I was putting on my kids' skin.
Yeah.
I knew what I was bringing
Yeah.
into my home. So for me personally, I knew right
It was
away that,
simultaneously.
but
happening.
now the sprays and the creams and the everything that I've branched out, really those come from customers
Mhm.
saying, hey,
Request for certain
Yeah.
things. Yeah.
and I do research and
Yeah.
How did something like this for you guys, did you have like a boom and it took off, or has it grown slowly over time? And what did you guys do to kind of get the word out there?
it's definitely grown pretty slowly. When we first started, like I said, I had 2 kids in diapers, and we just cared for the goats. They helped bottle feed them, and then we bought a couple more, and we, kind of tested the waters with birthing at our farm and proper care and maintenance. But it just seems like maybe in the last 3 years, it's really taken off. We've been really, really blessed with a appearance in the Charm
Yeah.
magazine, and now with you guys, and it's just it was hard because there are other local soap makers,
Sure.
but to be kind of a pioneer in I want to use natural products. I want to use things that I obtain from my herb box outside. I want
to
to
brew yourself. Yeah.
yeah, I want to have natural organic materials. That was difficult, because not a lot of people understand that aspect, and they'll say, you know, well, I want a soap, but you know, can you make it smell like banana split? And I'm like, well, no, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but I always find something to, you know, to make them happy, and I like visiting with them, and education is key for sure. So
I feel like with you know, when businesses get like just take off immediately, sometimes there's pros and cons to that,
Right.
because you know, oh wow, my business is like really booming,
Yeah.
but then you have all the, you know, struggles of hiring more people and having to take on help and meeting production, and so when it grows slower, you as the owner can adjust a little bit more incrementally, I feel like.
Well, and you've got younger children, and I feel like it's making it easier on you.
Yes, God's plan for sure.
Yeah.
And he knows me, and he knew that I couldn't, you know, I don't think that I'd be where we are today if it had just kind of boomed automatically.
Right.
Some businesses maybe benefit from that, but I feel like others, when you grow slowly over time, you can meet those needs in a much more realistic timeline.
Sure, yeah.
And you're not so overwhelmed. And I've seen business owners where they have taken off immediately and they get burnt out within a year.
Yes.
You know, so it's a blessing and a curse to some extent. So when you grow slower, you know, and you get kind of a system in place that can help you be, you know, continue to grow. I feel like that's really the best option for a lot of businesses. Ours have mostly done that. You know, it might have taken off, like had a burst, and then it, you know, evens out, or, you know, it took a while to, you know, pick up. And I feel like it's always been better for us and other people that I have known to do it at a slower pace. So while, it's great to have your business just explode, then you have all these other challenges you have to meet,
it's
and
a lot of
that
stress.
That can be
problematic.
problematic.
To take care of
and you're running a farm, so like
it's not like you have a lot of extra time.
There's struggles and obstacles, you know, that you don't normally have in a regular business. So tell us what a typical day looks like for you guys taking care of the farm.
Well, for me, I get up about 6, and I get up and you know, I make my cup of coffee and have my Jesus time, and wake up and wake the kids up. And sometimes they'll go out with me to help, and sometimes they won't, you know, if it's cold. But we go out, and I milk the goats, the does, and I think I have 7 right now that I milk. So I milk
How long does that process take if you're doing it by hand?
Oh,
like an hour?
Yeah.
To do all 7?
Yes, usually. And I have one that I give up.
She just doesn't want
She has so much milk.
Oh, wow.
But, you know, between that and then, so I take that milk, I bottle feed the babies that require a bottle, and then I feed everyone else, the goats, and I feed the bucks, and then I have to feed the chickens and the ducks, and then all of our dogs. And so altogether it takes about 2 hours.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, we gather eggs, and if there's anything that vegetable-wise needs picking or anything like that, we do that. And then we come in and we start homeschool. And then, you know, after a couple more hours, we go back out, and there's more bottles needed to be made and milking. And so it's kind of a
all-day process.
Yeah, it's an all-day process. So, you know, to say yes.
So when do you have time to make soap?
Yeah. In between. We like...
When you homeschool, there is a little bit more flexibility in your life. You think it's going to be so much more. And maybe these... I homeschooled. You're homeschooling. All these people who had to homeschool their kids this last year, you know, because of the pandemic. You know, like, oh my gosh, when did you find time? And I'm like... I guess it was just because I had done it for so long at that point that it didn't seem like it infringed. And as your kids get older, they do their own things. And so you don't have to hover over them.
Right.
And so you can be cooking soap, I'm guessing, and helping with the math problem.
Yes. I do a lot of multitasking.
Yeah,
I do that. Yes.
Yeah. Moms are good at multitasking.
Oh, yeah.
Have to be good at multitasking. It just kind of comes with the job.
Yeah,
so your day starts at 6. When does it end?
About 9 at night. Usually,
last feedings.
the last 2 little bitties, they get their last bottle about 8 or 8:30. So, and then I do a walkthrough, and I, you know, make sure everyone has water still, and no one's, you know, hurt or anything like that. And my husband thinks that I'm crazy because I get up in the morning and I literally have to say hi to everything in the morning. I say hi to all 60-something animals.
Well,
Yeah.
but they're like
family.
yeah, they're
Everybody
part of
has a name.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. I mean,
if I had to, I would do the same.
if I
thing.
had a farm, I'd do the
I
same
would do
thing.
the exact same
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. I don't know how we managed to spoil 60+ animals, but
I come home. I just come home from being at work all day, and the animals come running into the
Yes,
living room, and I
yeah.
start talking to everyone,
Yeah.
and giving them
Yeah.
pets. You know,
it's therapeutic.
It
It really
is.
is.
It really is.
Yeah.
Besides having to run a farm, and all the things that you just described that go along with that, and then you're running a business on the other side of it. Making the product, and then you have a little shop inside another shop.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us a little bit about that.
So I have a shop inside Southern Revival in Huntington, and it
Very
started.
cute, super cute little antique
Yes,
shop.
that's
Yes,
why it's so easy. She was like, well, it's actually a year this month. I've been there a year this
Okay.
month. So February is a big month for me. And she contacted me and said, hey, what would you think about having a little shop in here? So I went to go meet and talk with her, and she has antiques everywhere. So I was like, yes, happy place. 'Cause
Yeah,
I
yeah.
absolutely, love junk. So I have a little section, and I went and I got to, go buy a cute little hutch and decorate and put all my stuff in there, and we do really well. And we get to have market days once a month, so
Yeah.
it's a fun experience. It's they say if you like your job, you won't work a day in your life. So while it's tiring and there are obstacles, but I love it. So
That's awesome. That's
Well,
awesome.
and
It's-
having a shop inside another shop means that
Yeah.
you don't have to necessarily be there 24/7
yes,
running
yes.
the shop.
So
So
you
I
don't
feel
have
like
it was
the-
a perfect fit.
not as much of the overhead and all
Yes.
that while you're homeschooling and you're running your farm, and
Yes.
it takes a little bit off of you.
because I would almost imagine you would need one person to do the farm and one person to run the business side of it almost.
Yeah.
If you
Yes.
had it in a separate storefront.
Yes,
Right.
and I looked into that last year when I was looking to have a small shop.
Yeah.
I found another place, but I'd have to be there all day. Well, if I get up
Right.
in the morning and there's a goat that's not feeling well, or I have a chicken that's got a broken wing or something, I wouldn't be able to be.
Right. You'd have to hire somebody,
Yes,
which would
yeah.
add to, so wait till the girls are a little older.
Yes.
Be like, you're working the shop today.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. They already know.
I mean, that's why you have kids, right? You
Yeah.
put them in the family business, and you just let them help you run things.
Yes.
I mean, it's really a good education. They're being homeschooled. They're helping you on a
Yeah.
farm.
Yeah.
They're going to probably eventually be involved in the business side of things, I would imagine,
Oh, yeah.
unless they're just completely disinterested.
Yeah.
That's it. People.
They're gonna have a lot of real world experience
Yeah.
by the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And
really
I feel
cool
like that's
for
a
them.
very, they don't teach things like that necessarily in school.
No.
Right,
And
right.
so having that experience, your girls are growing up in an amazing environment for all those things,
Yeah.
So while it's not super glamorous, perhaps, it definitely is very educational
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
teaches them different values that they might not get somewhere else.
Right, right.
So
I
You
feel like
always
it's
want your kids to grow up being well-rounded and
Yeah.
more experiences and different things you can expose them to,
Right,
the better.
yes.
And your
real
girls are
life
getting,
situations.
yeah,
They
yeah.
River, the youngest one, is not so much into, she likes the babies and things like that. But Paisley, just this past year, she's helped with, the birthing process, and she feeds and she collects eggs, and she's starting to
she's
learn
probably
to
at the
milk.
age too where it's interesting.
Yeah,
to
she's
do
very
those things.
interested,
So-
and they show their own little goats, and so Paisley actually has her own little herd inside of our herd.
Aw.
Okay.
They're registered just in her name, so they're her goats,
That's cool.
So
Nice.
it's a big deal, but there are challenges just like with any other animals or farms that have been hard on her as well this year, and
Sure.
with the loss and things like that, but I feel like it's beneficial in the long run for them.
Yeah.
Now, we haven't talked at all about this other thing that you offer, which is called goat yoga.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the goat yoga a little bit.
It
What,
is-
what conceived that idea?
Okay, so I had people contacting me when I would just make things and meet people with my products. They would say, do you have a place I can come and just smell everything? Can I just come and smell all the soaps? And I'm like, well, no, I'm sorry. So now I have a shop.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the other I guess, inquiry was, can I just come to your farm and play with goats all day? And I'm like, well, as much as I would love for you to do that, no, I'm sorry. So on YouTube, someone actually tagged me in that, and they said, man, you need to do this. You need to do this. This looks like, such a good thing to have for our community. So I started it, and my husband built me a little pen where I can take apart and take places and set it up and take it back down. And I've had a really good response to it.
Yeah.
The first session we had a pretty good sized class, about 12 people.
Oh, wow.
And it was hilarious. Everyone was
Oh,
laughing,
yeah, I'm sure.
the entire time. And at the end, when everyone left us, a woman came up to me and she was in tears, and I'm like, oh my goodness, what happened? Did a goat bite you? Are you okay?
Yeah, yeah.
And she's like, you have no idea how much I needed this. And that, it just solidified, for me, that's why
being
I do
around
it.
animals is therapeutic
It is
in and
very
of itself.
therapeutic.
And so then
Yes.
if you're adding an exercise element to it,
Yeah.
and so much as you can when you have little goats.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
How does that go? Are you the instructor?
Yes, and I'm not licensed by any means. So I lay that out on the table. I'm like, look, this is just, it's not professional by any means. I know some yoga poses from what we do at home, but it's mainly just to stretch and let baby goats jump on you.
So you just use the babies, because I know I know the goats that you have don't get,
Super big.
Yeah.
big. They're a smaller breed.
Yes.
So, but you only use the babies.
Yeah, I use the probably about up to a year. Sometimes I'll bring the little
Okay.
juniors.
Yeah.
I do try to bring the more sociable goats. You
yeah.
know.
Right. Because they all have
Um,
their different personalities.
Oh yeah. They were real fun.
They were showing themselves. We all went on Friday this past week to go kind of just get a precursor.
Yeah.
And
It was so much fun.
it was there. You had there were two that were very vocal.
Very
And
vocal.
they liked talking.
Yes.
And the others were just super curious.
Yeah.
And
There was
biting
one,
on
I don't
everything.
remember- I don't remember even if it was a male or a female. I could tell you which one it was if I saw a picture. I don't remember her name, but I was like, if I was to buy one, I would want this one. Just calm. Just like the one that was just like
one.
hanging out, like just
Yeah.
There was a
just-
fawn colored, like fawn and white colored one with
yes,
blue eyes.
with the blue
Oh,
eyes.
It
yeah.
just kind of
Electric
gravitated.
slide.
Yes.
He
Yeah.
was your buddy.
He
Yeah.
kept
Yeah.
gravitating to me, and I'm like, "You're so sweet.
Yeah.
I could just kind of stick you in my coat pocket and sleep you out of here."
I like how when we let them all out, they kind of chose their person.
Yes,
Yeah.
Like
it's so weird.
Moon chose Rose.
Yeah.
And then Triton chose Megan.
Yeah.
And it was so cute. I was really it makes my day when I see, the goats.
I had been so excited about that
Yeah.
1
It was
hour
so much
meeting with
fun.
these little baby goats. I was
Yeah.
like, this is going to be the highlight of my week. It was a lot of fun. So
It was a lot of
if
fun.
you're listening and you live in the area and you want to go do yoga and have fun with some baby goats,
play.
you absolutely need to do it. It was the best fun.
It was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
It
wish we could have
was.
stayed longer.
I know.
I know. We
I know.
need to come back.
Yeah.
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 Oh, I would love to. Yeah.
And how often do you offer the classes, and where can you find a schedule for that sort of thing?
Right.
I have, on the farm page, Flower Hill Farm, East Texas, I have
On
a
Facebook?
group now. Yeah, I've made a group just for the yoga.
Okay.
Okay.
It's called Flower Hill Farm Goat Yoga Groupies.
Oh,
So I post the schedule.
and you're
there.
wearing a shirt right
Yes,
now
we have
that advertises
merch.
it.
Yes,
Yeah.
they have merch.
We have shirts, and we have little coffee cups, and so we're expanding that way. And
Do you have like an age limit or something when it comes to the goat?
we
you have
do. We do ask that they, kids be about 5 or 6, just so that for everyone's safety and the
Right.
entire class can
Right.
enjoy.
Because they do like to nibble. The little
They
goats.
do.
They
Yeah.
don't hurt.
Yeah, it didn't hurt.
No, but they do.
It
like
was
to
funny
nibble. You
because
don't
it's
want-
like I
yeah.
think they thought our fingers were teats.
Yes.
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 And they were like
Yes, they
really
were trying to suckle.
hardcore trying to nurse.
Yeah.
They wanted
Yeah.
they wanted a bottle. I should have brought
Yeah,
a bottle.
Yeah, the only time Rose got upset was when one thought her earlobe was a.
Yeah.
she was. But it
Poor
was fine.
Rose.
She
She was
fine.
a trooper.
She was fine.
Yeah, she's chill.
Yeah,
She's
yeah,
chill.
yeah,
And
she
for a 7-month-old baby.
Yes.
She was having a hi-ho
Man.
time sitting there playing with
well,
them.
for anybody that's listening, I think personally that they would be a brilliant team building exercise
Yes.
type
Yeah.
thing
Yeah.
to go and just have fun and play with baby goats and
Yeah.
just I think that would be
Yeah. It is a really great. I don't think there's really anything else quite like it in the area where you can
No.
interact with a baby animal and do something like that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
you know, in a way, that's kind of like a whole, like, I know it's very common other places,
Right.
but
Around here, not so
Around
much.
here,
not,
yeah,
not so much
yeah,
around
not so
here.
much around
So
here.
I think
Yeah.
that's a really great thing. So yeah, if you guys are interested in that, y'all should check out the
Yes.
Facebook groupie page, because I think that to me, that's like totally worth the price of admission to get to play with these little
Oh,
baby
absolutely.
goats. And
Yeah.
it's way better than a petting zoo.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And you're
sure.
helping a small business while you do
Yeah,
it.
absolutely.
What about this whole adventure? What has it taught you about yourself? What have you gotten out of it that you didn't realize beforehand, or what has it enhanced for you?
You know, when I was thinking about this interview last night, I was talking to my husband, and I said, well, why did I start this? You know, yeah, I have a passion about organic bath goods and organic materials, and I love animals. But for me, as you know, being a mom, I'd had my second baby, and you know, as a mom, you kind of lose yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, can you be more than just a mom?
Yeah.
Can you be more than just a wife? So for me, it was my passion. It was something for myself.
Yeah.
And, I truly believe that, God gives us all different talents.
Mm-hmm.
And we can use those talents here to be blessings to others. And if I could do that, be happy doing it and making other people happy.
Sure.
And finding myself again, being
Right.
passionate about something. And so
And the fact that you've had a very supportive husband and family
yeah.
that have been
He's-
like, all right, cool, let's go for it.
okay, yeah. Yeah, my husband, man, he just, bless his heart. He, I'm like, okay.
He was such a good sport the other day.
He was.
He just,
Yeah.
he's along for the ride. And
Yeah.
he helps, and last year he built me this beautiful barn, and it's just,
Oh,
he's amazing. And this month also we've been together for 10 years. So
Nice.
this whole month is just like, I'm glowing. So
that's fantastic. Well, good. I'm
is good.
glad.
thank you.
Glad we could be a part of that.
Yeah.
That's very
Yeah.
cool. I did want to highlight something that you told us on Friday while we were there, that not only you use a lot of the herbs and things that you grow,
Yep.
but when talking about keeping things organic, you even make your own medicines for
Oh, yeah.
the animals. So the goat milk that you use is truly
Yes.
it is.
No
Yeah.
pesticides,
No
no
chemicals.
chemicals.
No
Yeah.
chemicals, no
Yeah.
pesticides, no so you really know
Yeah.
100% what is in this milk and what is going into the products that you use.
Yes.
I thought that was really, really cool. And I don't know if there was something you wanted to talk about. Like, I know you said you were a research nerd, but
Yeah.
how, and I, I have family members who are veterinarians. And so,
Oh, cool.
and I've always been a, big animal person, but I think that's really neat to, grow your own wormwood. And
Yeah,
that's just really, how
I'm
does,
glad you remembered that because
how did
I would have
that-
totally forgotten to ask. So thank you.
How did that start and go? And have you run into anything that was scary in that area, or was it did it just work like a charm because that's how it's meant to be?
It's worked. It's worked for the most part. I originally ordered a herbal warmer from a company
Uh-huh.
when we started, because I said, well, if we're going to be drinking this milk, I don't want,
Yeah.
chemical wormers in it and things like that. And so I got the package of the warmer, and I said, well, I could probably grow all this,
Yeah.
let me grow it all.
Yeah.
And then I just kind of went from there and made, tinctures from it and my own, udder balm for them and
Okay. Yeah.
and cleansers and definitely the warmer and things just to keep everyone in their
Everybody
best health.
healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what you want, especially if this
Oh,
is
yeah.
their health is part of your livelihood.
Right.
So, it's kind of important.
Well, that brings up a question for me. Do you have issues where you have to have a vet come out and check anybody out, or do you take them in, or how does that work for you guys? I always wondered with a farm and you have all these animals, do you have somebody that you call to come out?
Yes. Yeah, I've had to take a little guy. He had urinary calculi stones, so it's kind of like kidney stones, but
Yeah.
of course he needed medical attention and intervention. But for the most part, we have our vet come to our home.
Just give everybody a checkup.
Yeah, we do a blood test every year. We test for disease and things like that, and they test for worms. But the funnest part, and I know this is fun for her too, is they do ultrasounds when
for
the
babies.
pregnant mamas.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. Yeah.
So I think she waits for that time of year.
Yeah, I think that would be fun because then you could see,
Yeah.
you know, are there any regulations or things that you guys have to stick to? You know, like the FDA, you know, is like the governing body for certain things. Are there things for home people, you know, home farms like you guys where you're raising these animals and they're not going to be eaten, but they're going to be used as pets or they're going to be used for milking purposes, which is something we would ingest.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, what kind of regulatory type agencies do you have to report to, or do you?
We don't personally. I know that if you go to sell the goat's milk itself for, you know, pet quality, you do have to be licensed, you know, through the state.
Because you're just consuming just your family.
Right, yes.
And and then you use it in the products. But that's not people like drinking the milk. That's
Right,
just
correct.
using
That's
it.
different.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
that's a
So
whole
I didn't know.
different
I didn't know if that was the aspect of your business where you would sell goat milk to consumers if they wanted it, but you guys have avoided that aspect of the business. Too much red tape.
Yes.
Or
Yeah, I mean, it is. It may be something that we can in the
Eventually.
future. Yeah, just for I think the state only allows now is the pet quality, or, you know, for pet consumption, and then you have to have, you know, your packaging and things like that meet all the standards. But maybe in the future, you know, if we
because like you could do goat milk, goat butter, goat cheese. You know,
Yeah,
like there's so many options
right.
there.
I mean,
but
we
And I
eat
mean,
that,
if you
but,
keep
you know.
if you keep multiplying like you are, in another
yeah.
5 years, you're gonna have 400. You're gonna need something to do with all that milk.
Yes, I think my holdup is I need a milk machine because my hands have just
You're gonna have arthritis.
They're-
before
yeah.
long,
that's the next step in the evolution of the business is a
Yeah.
milking machine.
Yeah.
I can imagine that there'd be some tendonitis
Yeah.
issues happening
Yeah,
or
right?
carpal tunnel.
yeah,
for a
carpal tunnel
while.
for sure.
Oh boy. Yeah, that's a lot. What kind of like, I don't know, do you guys, you know, you mentioned being in Charm Magazine. Are there any other like achievements or things like that that have really kind of bolstered y'all's, you know, this is really working out. We're going to keep doing this, or just something personally in this whole arena? What would you consider a big achievement for you guys?
Wow.
Because 5 years that's a good time to be, you know, for
Yeah.
small business to be.
Yeah.
You're hitting that stride at this point, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
If you can make it to this point,
Yeah.
usually it's
time to start.
relatively smoother sailing at that.
Right,
Not always,
right.
but
Yeah.
you know.
It's been pretty smooth and, you know, steady, but I think definitely being in the Charm, it was a big deal.
Helped give you some exposure that you
yes,
didn't have.
yeah. And then of course having, you know, our shop now, that's a big achievement for me, and for us to have, I guess, bigger name animals has been a bigger achievement. We went from, you know, pet quality to registered ADGA, and you know, we've been to some shows, and, you know, our buck, we just bought a really nice buck last year, and we had him shipped here from New Mexico.
Oh wow.
And his dad is like a Finnish champion, and so, you know, we're growing in the different aspects of it for sure. And but for me, a big achievement is, I mean, seeing my daughter's faces when you know, when baby goats are born, and seeing them passionate about helping me. And, you know, Paisley's involved in a lot of it, but River just tries to help mama. You know, she wants to be able to lift a hay bale and a feed sack, and, you know.
And she's 6, so
She'll get there. Yeah.
I mean, I think that, to me, if it were me, you know, and I had a business like that and my family was involved, like, that would be, what am I saying? We have businesses.
Y'all have
my
it,
kids
yeah.
are involved. But like a farm like business where it's a little different, where you have like so many different areas of concern that you have to take care of all day long. You know, I would think that would be something that would, especially with younger children, you know, getting to watch the joy that they would have, you know, because what kid doesn't like animals, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
that would be my favorite thing, I think. That and just being around the animals all day, and you know,
that for sure is I mean, that was definitely why I was like, okay, it's a go for goat yoga, because I know when I won't even think about it. I'll have a rough day and I'll just find myself out in the barnyard just sitting with animals, whether they're eating my, you know, the frays on my pants, or, you know, my stress just goes away. And I want that, you know, for other people to be able to obtain that level of okay, I'm gonna live on this
Calm
baby goat.
and
Yeah,
serenity.
yes,
I
yeah.
mean, there's just something about animals that, if you can get past that, they're gonna slobber on me, they're gonna get me dirty, or get hair on me.
Go with the expectation that you're gonna
Get dirty.
You're gonna get dirty. Your
Put
hair
your
might
hair up.
your hair might get a little trim.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. Rose has got a little bit of a thin spot.
Oh no.
No, it's fine. It's not, she already had a bald spot.
I had some, probably some split ends nipped off.
Yeah,
but-
yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it's just
I don't
you just
care,
go
though.
in, you go in expecting that's part of it, but that's part of the fun.
Yeah.
You
It's,
know?
it's part of it. And I actually
And
made
when you
it
go
fun.
home, you take a nice long shower.
Yes, take a shower, get
and
you a new
just-
soap,
and then
there
take
you
a
go.
shower. Take a shower or get a bath bomb. And
Yeah.
have a little and just extend the experience a little bit.
There
It
you
just
go.
makes
Yes.
it even better.
An
Absolutely.
all-day Flower Hill Farm experience.
There you
Yes,
go.
yes. I had a girl actually bring her niece out for her birthday for that, and then just let her go wild in the shop. Like she bought 5 bath bombs and a lotion, and
That's fun.
it was a big deal for
Very
her.
cool.
That's so
But
cute.
I've
Yeah.
actually started when we do the goat yoga. I call it goat yoga bingo. So when you're on your mat, and if a baby goat poops on your yoga mat, you win a prize.
I wondered how that works.
That's fantastic.
Because eventually they're going to need to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
You know, that's another thing that would be goat yoga would be fun for like girls. Well, like girls Paisley's age.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like birthday parties and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I have
that would
one.
be a lot of fun.
I have one scheduled, and then there's a girl that's bringing her entire bridal party.
Oh
and
yeah.
So it's fun. It's going to be a good experience, and we have a date night one for Valentine's this month. And
Yeah.
Couples
So
yoga.
there's a lot of things you can do with that.
Very cool.
And-
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
A lot of
that's really
events and
cute.
different things. Yeah, that's very neat.
exciting.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to other people starting a business like this, or what advice did you get when you were kind of starting out that really was like, oh wow, this is a
oh man,
piece of knowledge I'm going to hang
Very
on to?
impactful
Ooh.
for you.
pray.
Yes.
I had really, really amazing goat mentors. If you're gonna start in the goat business, have a goat mentor.
Okay.
Have a friend that's done it before. I had 3 actually. My friend in Louisiana, Garrett, my friend Hope here, and my friend Tanya. And I could call them, because when you start something new and something crazy pops
Because
up.
research can only take you so far.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When it really happens, you're not going to go and Google. You're going to be kind of flipping out. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I would call them at 2 a.m. because, our first kidding, she had 5. And I'm like, oh, my gosh, why are they coming out still?
Whoa.
Help me.
That's a lot.
And they've all just helped me continuously over this 5 years, whether it's coming over and helping me, learn to trim the hooves and, how to give medicines and,
Yeah.
the everyday care, or, how to show properly and how to milk properly and what a good udder looks like and things like that. They've all helped so much in different aspects. So definitely find a goat mentor that can come and show you and talk to you and kind of give you the ropes on it. But as far as a small business, man, it's just, like I said, pray.
Take it one day at a
Have
time.
have a little bit of a plan maybe, and
have a little bit of a plan.
and starting small has seemed to help you guys.
for sure. And just don't let yourself get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
I've gotten there a couple of times where I'm just like, I'm like, I'm spent, and you lose your passion that way. And it's important not to do that, because then it's like, well, what are you doing this for? And, keep your passion and remember what you're doing it for sure.
How do you guys take vacations when you have a whole farm to take care of? Do you hire
had a
people to
vacation
now,
come?
the last 5
now
years?
hiring. Yeah. That is an issue with our family. It really is. Like right now we're trying to plan to go somewhere in spring and summer. And when you have animals that can just be fed and let out, my mother, bless her heart, she comes and feeds all of our animals, and lets the goats out and waters and things when we go on trips. But when you have animals that need milking, is a whole
Babies
nother,
that need bottles.
Yes,
Or, yeah.
it's a whole nother thing. So
I've always wondered about that for people who have farms or things where they've got animals that they're having to really pay attention to
Don't
several
do
times
it
a day.
very often.
You
Yeah,
don't get-
I
Yeah.
think- I don't know that any of them have ever really taken vacations.
you don't get a
Yeah.
lot. No.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
It's a
that's got to be
rare
a challenge
thing.
if you, especially when you have small kids and they want to go somewhere it's like Disneyland
Yes.
or
Yeah.
you know they go to Florida and you know go to the beach. You know, it's a little harder and a lot more planning ahead of time. I'm
It
guessing
is a lot
to coordinate
Yeah,
schedules.
because you have to have, you know, the adequate amount of feed out. You know,
Right.
you have to have that so that your helper is there, and you know they
Maybe
don't
you should
run
start
into-
like a farm co-op with these other people that you know,
Hey,
and y'all trade
there
off
you
when y'all want to
go.
go on
Yes.
vacation and
Yeah.
take care of each other's farms.
Hey, that could be
That's not a bad
part of
idea because I need a
Why
vacay.
is that not like part of a? Is that part of like a homeschooling course or something that you could like have other kids come and help
could.
with the
And
farm
teach
and teach and have that be part of
yeah.
it? And then when you want to go on vacation, they already know what to
Yes.
do. They
Yes.
just come hang out.
Because I know what a challenge it is for us to try to go on vacation somewhere as a whole
Yeah.
family. It hasn't
Yeah.
happened in 10 years. I mean, you know, we usually go off in little
Yeah.
groups, you know,
I would
and it's me and the
imagine-
kids or me and Ava or
Right? Yeah.
Megan and
Little
Xander.
pieces of the
Because
family
you know,
get
we
to
have
go
all these
together, but not
animals at
everybody.
home that
Yeah.
have to be taken care
Yeah,
of,
I know.
and so and while it's not the same as what you guys have to deal with, still finding somebody
It's
who would
still-
come and
yeah.
take them out several times a day and
Yeah.
feed them, and or, you know, you almost have to
Yeah.
have somebody house sit basically
Oh,
because
yeah.
there's so many, you know. So
Yeah.
yeah, I wondered how that
Yeah.
works. So
yeah.
maybe starting a farm co-op would.
There you
I'm
go.
gonna look into that
There
for
you go,
sure.
yeah.
Please.
And I imagine that, especially, you know, a big part of your business is making like with the goat yoga and the beauty products and the like. It's about your business is about self-care,
Yes.
you know. But then when do you find time
for self-care.
for self-care?
Yes.
you know.
We're always the last on the list.
I
of
got
things
you.
to do,
Yeah.
aren't we?
We are, man. We are. But I enjoy facials.
Yeah.
I have a good facial friend here, and that's, I think, in the mornings, you know, when I get up and I have my coffee and I read my devotional. That's some me
That's your
time.
time. Yeah.
But I also like to stay up late and listen to true crime stories.
Okay.
I'm so
I
like
have
that.
I have a YouTube channel I need to tell you about when
Oh,
we
good.
get, when
Okay.
we get done.
That's my me time. You know, I'll get
Yeah.
a little glass of wine and I'm like,
Yeah.
let me watch some true crime.
What is it with
true crime.
women in serial killer
I
documentaries?
don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. But, you
That's
know.
a podcast topic for another day. Maybe we should get into that
Yeah,
at some
invite me
point.
back.
It's like a bonus episode.
Yeah.
It's not really small business, but yeah, anyway. So what does like the future look like for you guys? I know we've talked about some things you might want to add on, but do you have like a plan for 2021 in terms of growing the business?
We for 2021, I think I just want to grow our business on bettering our goats, the aspect of that, showing more and making a name for ourselves herd wise, and of course seeing what other crazy products I can make, and just really networking more and maybe getting out there more and meeting new people. So
Yeah.
it's a fun ride for sure.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think I found you I think one of my friends on Instagram had posted some picture where she had gone to one of your goat yoga
cool.
things, and I was like, that's interesting. I didn't know that was happening around here. And so then I started doing like, the rabbit hole that you go down when you start
Right,
researching
right.
something on the internet. And I was like, oh, this is a local business, like really local, like just down the street.
Yeah.
And okay, well maybe I need to email her and see, what's what with that. Cause it was sort of I see things on social media and it'll trigger this response in me to go, I need to look into that. Cause that looks interesting. And so that's kind of how I came to find you.
Oh, cool.
Cause I think you'd been in Charm years ago, several years ago. And so
Yeah.
I can't remember what I did Friday.
right.
So it wasn't because of the Charm article, although I probably read it at the time,
Yeah.
and not really giving much thought to it, other than, oh, that sounds cool. And then, you file that information away and sometimes it just gets lost in the back of your brain.
Yeah.
And then when I saw that a few months ago, and I was like, I need to put her on a list for somebody to contact to be on because like we've never had anybody who's run a farm as a small business and produce products, from it. And I was like, that's an industry we need to give a voice to and see what their story's like. So I'm glad you were able to come on today and then you let us come out and
play.
and have fun. I'm going to have to do that again. My 12-year-old is demanding it.
Oh, yeah.
That was not fair, Mom. You went without me.
I know, yeah, yeah.
So, yeah,
Y'all have to
definitely.
come back for sure. I want to do
Absolutely.
maybe like a kids camp for like spring break or something like that, so that they can have several days where they can come and
That would be fun.
And hang
you know,
out.
and
Yeah.
maybe a little education in there for them and learning. So
Sure.
Well, on that note, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you online to access the times and dates of these types of events that you have.
Yeah. So it is Flower Hill Farm, East Texas. It's on Facebook. And then there is a group attached to that page. That's the Flower Hill Farm Goat Yoga Groupies.
Okay.
And I post, farm things, product things, our schedule, our market days, and things like that. And our shop location is also on that page. So, but
I can find you all on Facebook. You're just all on Facebook.
All on Facebook right now. Right now.
Simple
yeah.
and sweet. I mean, hey, running social media is a full-time job in and of itself. If you only have time to focus on one, Facebook's a good way to go in terms of marketing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
although y'all should look into like some TikTok videos. I have one I'm going to show you when we're done here.
Dude, yeah, I got some with the cranberry juice. I'm gonna do it.
Well, that's awesome. So check Flower Hill Farm out on Facebook. Lindsay, thanks so much for coming in today
Yeah,
and
thank
talking
y'all.
with us.
This
was great.
And
It was a lot of fun.
I definitely will have to come and do some more baby goat loving.
Yes,
It was
it's
a lot of
addicting.
fun.
It's
Yeah,
addicting
it
once
is.
you start. Yeah.
Right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us. I hope you enjoyed today's story, and you'll have to catch us next time for the next adventure. We'll see y'all later.
Have a good day.
Do you have a story to tell? We want to hear it. If you'd like to be a guest on our podcast and share your story, contact us on our website at PaynePoints.com or any of the social media linked on our website. Be sure to subscribe and follow us on either Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube. We'd appreciate a review, a like, or a comment to let us know what you think. You can find all of our podcasts linked on our website under the podcast tab. Once again, thanks for joining us, and we want to wish everybody a wonderful day.